Welcome to the 8th episode of Inside. Today we're talking about passion, and the topic is if there's passion, it's worth chasing. So before we start this episode, we have a quick disclaimer.
Because I might take a shot. We understand that at the end of the day, everything is a business transaction, yes.
Exchange of value.
Yes, whether it be between us or between the people we work with and their people, their customers. Mm-hmm. But there's a fine line, I think, that we draw when we decide who we're working with. And I think one of those lines is where we try to cram a message or meaning into the branding behind a business, where the core of it is like exploiting their people and really just trying to make the most money, the most money off their customers. Like, I get there's a monetary exchange, but I feel like it's misleading and it's not something that I think we want to be known for when it comes to like crafting these brands and stories. It's just not what we want to be seen as in this world.
I guess in the whole branding space, one kind of goal is authenticity.
Yeah.
I think if brands have a very authentic story, it's easier to tell. Whereas if it's not too authentic or it's a bit shady or scammy in kind of ways.
Yeah, I think
it's
like
really
scammy,
hard to tell.
Scammy is the word that we're like sort of walking on eggshells around. Yeah. But I feel like it's hard. Like, there's the scammy part of like the business itself being scammy. And then there's the part where like it's scammy.
How we tell it.
Yeah, how we tell it. And then it's like us being part of that scamminess and like we're not. I just don't want to like dip my toe in that at all.
It's like a storytelling of authentic stories. It's so much easier to tell.
Yeah, I feel like people are so much more attracted. And people aren't dumb. I feel like you can tell when there's a big disconnect between the way that a brand portrays themselves as and the way they actually act and speak and the way you present them.
So an example would be kind of how they appear online and then when you meet them or something in person, it could be different.
Yeah, or like when they say they're like brands that advocate for causes, I find that are really like frustrating and almost like infuriating is when you see brands advocate for causes whether it be like female rights is really that bothers me is when they advocate for things like that and it's almost like they exploit off that cause and then the way that they treat their customers or their employees or just the way that their processes work internally, maybe even the products that they offer, don't support that message. People are just immediately turned off. And I feel like it's harder to gain back people's trust after that. So if people are at the heart of their business, if it's passion that's driving it, like I feel like it's more apparent and like it's harder for us to stuff up at their story if their story is real. Like it's rooted in the truth and rooted in like their entire being. It's not like we're crafting, like we're just making these, like we're pulling all these like values, like they come from somewhere. Yeah. And there's a story to tell.
Which leads to the clients we work with. Yeah. We prefer to work with clients who are driven by passion at the very beginning.
Yeah, I think it
makes the relationship more interesting.
Yeah, like do you find that it's more... You like to use the word engaging?
Yeah, engaging. Because I think, our goal is long-term relationships. I think if we always get stuck at the whole business transaction, it gets a bit boring. It's like, okay, it's this and that. But if the clients are driven by passion with their goals and ambition and the vision of where they want to be, it makes the conversation and relationship much more engaging.
Yeah, because they come to the table with that approach and mindset. And like that like heavily influences the end goal. And like I feel like if you've got that passion behind you and you can convince us of that passion, like it gives you direction. If you always have that in your head, it's always sitting there. It's like the beginning before your brand values, I guess. Like that's where they get pulled from. But you have that vision in mind and it's a lot easier to keep on track throughout the whole process.
And I guess one way when we approach clients or they approach us is that we want to be treated as if we're customers of the brand. If we're interested in the brand, I think the way they treat us would be different, I guess. I don't want to just...
I was like... No, but I get you.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say, like, I think... No. What I think you're trying to say is that you want us to be able to fall in love with the brand.
And the products as a
customer first. Yeah. Like, that way we have a first-hand understanding. And I guess
how they treat us.
Yeah, and also, that's why we tend to, like, blind test, like, brands before we even reach out, just to see what it's like being a customer before approaching them as, like, a business. Because I feel like that way you get the most authentic experience, because you're just, like, nobody. Yeah. You're just another customer.
You just rock up to the market and be like, let's try these products.
Yeah, like, hello, interesting. And just experience the whole journey as a customer first, to understand what it's like. But obviously, I think one dilemma is that we can't really do that for everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess for, like, businesses that, like, aren't even established yet, like, we just can't follow that process. But when that process is already there, it gives us, like, a better understanding of where things are at. And just so we can jump on board with, like, the idea and the vision as a customer first.
Yeah. And I think further down the road, if we ever, I don't know, create, like, user profiles or user journeys, we can kind of, it's easier to empathize with other clients or customers and be like, oh, this is how I envision the brand to be. This is their values, this is how I wish they would communicate and all that.
Sorry, we got interrupted.
By multiple phone calls.
Yeah, it was a rookie error. Back to what we were talking about.
Yeah. So how does this core value translate to us?
I think it's two parts. Us and also, like, the creative community. I think the way that we, like, approach work is that the skills, in this case the services that we offer,
The whole wide range of services, including illustration, hand lettering, photography, filmmaking, and there's plenty more.
I like that you remember them. I was just looking at the website and I forgot. But all those skills that we have are really just tools for us to, like, do the things that we're passionate about. Like helping people out and helping them, especially, like, learn more about themselves and their brand. But, like, as a creative, I feel like this is just the way that we approach it. And we're lucky enough that it's, like, quite similar. That the skills that we have are really just tools and anyone can learn them.
There's so many resources.
Yeah.
Online.
So many resources, like, everywhere now. So there's no excuse not to be able to, like, learn a skill. And it's just about, like, honing that and being able to better utilize that to get to where you need to go. I feel like this is more of your territory. Like, based on your experiences.
Yes, because what you're kind of talking about leads to the whole purpose and the why of it. And I think through my experience in photography, well, the whole passion journey and the whole ups and downs of being interested in it and then falling out of it and coming back to it has just shaped my, I guess, perception on the whole passion. Rather than being passion driven, which is good at the beginning, but it never really fulfilled the level of passion you need to sustain for sustainability. And that's where the whole purpose driven comes in. Where if it's purpose driven, it's easier to sustain for a long time. Because you're not always just focusing on your skills and yourself. You're looking at the bigger picture of why you're doing it, how can you help this person, how can we better serve them or their customers, and then that just translates to branding now, which is how we can help our clients. Sometimes they feel more confident about the brand, whether it's, I don't know, a website or how they look, how they communicate to the customers. It just comes back to the why we do it, and that's slowly shaping core now, I think.
Yeah, I think that your experiences, like, had a big part in setting the foundations for, like, the reasoning why we do things here. And, like, your experiences helped me figure my stuff out a little bit better. And, like, hopefully that's contagious.
Hopefully.
That's the
No,
goal.
no, no.
But yeah, I think that wraps
But-
for this episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again because I've said it in the last 2 episodes.
Mhm.
Another day is coming. Promise.
Yes, it's coming. Can't confirm, but it's coming.
I think the next adventure we want to take on is when we get you a new computer. So it's probably the next time you'll see us.
That sounds like it's so far away.
It's coming soon!
Going soon.
But yeah, check out the other 2 episodes of Insight if you haven't, because they're stacking up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also another news.
Oh, yeah!
Our friends Ben and Lindy released their new podcast.
Yeah, they announced it. I don't think the first...
They launched yesterday.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's coming soon. Yeah. So
Go
we'll
check
leave
them
the details
Yeah.
and links down below.
Cool. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.